I'm Brittany.
Welcome to our YouTube premiere. Cheers.
We're from Nicole, Jocelyn, Staging and Design, and today we're going to take some time and answer some questions for you. Recently we reached out on social media asking our followers to ask us some design questions. So here we go.
Question number 1 comes to us via email. Jennifer wants to know, what are your favorite stores for home decor and accessories? Definitely Target. We love Target. They have super cute accessories. They're always on trend and they're great for really inexpensive lighting. Home Goods is another one of our favorites. We're always popping in and out of there. Their inventory is always changing. We find really great art and pillows.
Yeah, and another really great spot for pillows and a little bit more of a custom option would be Etsy. They have so many designer fabrics to choose from and lots of different pillow sizes, which is great. And then I would say Overstock. We love Overstock. They have really affordable rugs, and then we get our small accent furniture from there. So consoles, end tables, small chairs, items like that. Okay, and question number 2. Hannah wants to know, should wood furniture match your wood floors? No, don't match your wood floors. So boring. Please contrast. Do us all a favor, choose some wood tones that have similar undertones, but definitely not the same color. So if you have warm wood in your house, I would probably stay away from gray, cool tones.
Yeah, and if you really want your house to have an interesting, sophisticated look, contrasting and mixing, matching all your materials, like your wood tones and even mixing and matching metals is really the way to go. Question 3, Carly on Facebook asks, my house is a cape and the bedroom ceilings are sloped. How can I decorate and add personality to the room without having the typical wall space to hang art or photos? I'd say if you don't have the wall space to display art, definitely go bold and use your furniture to make a statement. Bedroom's really easy because you can go with an upholstered headboard that has a really fun print or pattern on it, or you could even go for a headboard that comes in a really bright color. Same thing with your furniture, accent tables, nightstands. You can find pieces that have like a decorative inlay over them or that have nail heads on them, or even just something painted that comes in a bright color. If you have just a few pieces of furniture and you want to do it with all your furniture, you can find the larger pieces like dressers and chests that have some decorative elements or painted colors to them also.
Yeah, those are really good ideas. And again, capes are hard because you don't have the wall space for art. So lucky for us, wallpaper is making a comeback, and that in itself could be art because there's tons of colors and patterns available to you. And a lot of times they're peel and stick now, so if you want to change it up, you could always do that pretty easily. And then I'd also say that you could always just paint the room. You could do a fun, bold accent wall in a bright color. I would just be sure that you go past the 4-foot wall and up the slant part of the ceiling to give an illusion of more height, and so it doesn't feel like cramped.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel cut off right at that 4-foot height and feel awkward.
Right. All right, question number 4 from Chelsea Hen from Instagram asks, hi ladies, I just moved into my boyfriend and our bedroom has a mismatch of his dark and my white furniture. The focus is our king bed with a cool gray and white comforter. Any ideas how to make this feel cohesive? Thanks. So Chelsea, I actually think you're off to a really good start. We actually design a lot with that high contrast of like the light wood or white furniture with a darker color. So I think the trick is creating balance between those.
Yeah, definitely want to create some balance. High contrast is actually easy to balance. Just bring in a couple medium tone colors as your accents. For your specific space, you mentioned you have the gray comforter, so I think like a really pretty medium blue, like a colonial blue or a mint green would be a really good combination. And then find just 1, maybe 2 pieces that have all your colors in them. So you want to find like a piece of artwork or pillow, maybe even a rug. So make sure it has the white, it has the gray, it has the blue, the green, whatever your colors are going to be. And then once you have that main piece that has all your colors, and just kind of sprinkle in the rest of your accent, like your blues and your greens and pillows and chairs and things like that until it feels right. Question 5, Danielle wants to know, I would love to mix up my style with pillows, but I can never tell if the patterns I'm choosing will look good together. How do I mix and match different prints? There's so many tips and tricks out there when it comes to mixing and matching, but I would say the most important thing is you want to consider your scale. Varying your scale from small to large is really important. It's going to be the key to preventing your patterns from competing with one another.
Yeah, and I'd say another good rule of thumb to follow when mixing and matching patterns is to make sure that you're varying the size. So make sure that you have a small, medium, and large pillow pattern, and then make sure the patterns in themselves are different. So choose a geometric with a floral, with an animal print, or a small check. And a lot of times when we're doing it, we'll choose one pillow that at least has a couple colors in it to pull for the rest of the room. And then I still wouldn't neglect the solids altogether. I think that they can really pull the whole grouping together. And a lot of times you could even find a solid that has a little bit of texture or something to it just to add a little bit more. And question number 6 comes from Carrie on Facebook. Hi, this space has me stumped. We will be getting crown molding soon and planning on getting rid of the ceiling fan, but I'm not sure what kind of light fixture to get or what to put on the walls. Thanks. So yeah, Carrie, I think that lighting can make a really big impact. Judging from the picture that you sent us, I think the area looks really big, and I think that you should do a fun, large statement pendant or chandelier, something like that.
Yeah, and just like you said, I don't think it necessarily has to be a specific type of light. I would just pick something that you love. It could be a chandelier that's meant for a dining room, it could be a really large lantern light, or just a really big foyer pendant, whatever it is. Treat it like a piece of art. Just pick something you love because you can see it from all areas of your house. I would say based on your pictures, I don't know the exact dimensions, but I would say you probably want nothing that's less than about 3 feet, but definitely measure it, and if you feel like you can go as big as 4 feet, I say go for it. Really have fun since it's a focal point. And I would do the same thing for your walls. Really go big. You have so much vertical space there. You want to really make sure that you fill it. And I would say canvas art is probably a really good way to do this because it comes pretty inexpensive and you can get a really large size. And the best part about it is it's super lightweight, so it's going to be easy to hang. And if you want to go for more of a non-traditional, not artwork, I would say you could probably do an accent wall with some peel and stick wallpaper. You can find so many different patterns and prints and colors. And if you get sick of it, you can always take it down. Question 7, Sarah emailed asking, how do you pick the right size rug for your living room? This is definitely one of the most common questions we get. We get it all the time, and we still see rooms where the rugs are way too small or way too big. When in doubt, go happy medium, go right in the middle usually. There's nothing worse than seeing a big room where this tiny little rug is just floating right in the middle. It has no relationship to any of the other furniture in the space. Yeah,
unfortunately we see this a lot. Ideally, all your furniture, at least the front leg, should be on your rug. If you can fit more, that's great, definitely fit more. And while having a small rug is horrible, having a rug that's too big for the space is also bad. It almost looks like you have wall-to-wall carpeting.
No wall-to-wall carpeting, no. Make it an area rug.
Right, so to make sure you're doing that right, I would say leave at least like a foot, 2 feet between the edge of your wall and the edge of your rug. So question 8 comes from Instagram user SJ Gill. She says, I have a 9-foot long desk and 2 floating shelves above. How to decorate while still being functional without looking cluttered? So I think you have tons of options when it comes to open shelving. I do think that it can look cluttered pretty quickly, so I think a minimalist approach is best. So that is going to require you to be a little clever with storage for everyday items like paper, files, mail, anything like that.
Yeah, so just grab some larger pieces to store all those in, like some bins and baskets and boxes. And also have a really simple color scheme. I think that's going to be the key. So I would say just pick like maybe 2-3 colors max. Example would be to have like your accents in gold, all your storage pieces like the boxes and bins in white, and then just a few decorative objects or artwork in like a blue or a pink. And for your smaller items like your pens and pencils and your scissors, really think outside the box. It doesn't necessarily have to be office accessories. I mean, you could use like a really pretty just little cup, or even like a mason jar would be really cute to hold those things. Just remember to have fun with it. Not everything has to be functional. Add some personality. If you work in your office all the time, throw up a couple frames that have some inspirational quotes or some pretty artwork in them. Question 9, Katie wants to know, how do I decorate a small apartment? When it comes to small spaces, less is always more. Don't just have a ton of small pieces thrown in there just because it's a small space. I would say find a few larger, really well-proportioned items and start with those.
Yeah, so I think in a small space, you definitely need to keep in mind that most things should be multifunctional. So maybe you have a bookcase that is a divider between some rooms, but also offers storage. Maybe you have some ottomans that are storage ottomans, which would be great. That could also be used for a coffee table or for an extra seat. And then a dining table that could also be used possibly as a desk if you need that. And then I think small spaces become cluttered and busy very quickly, so I would keep your color scheme very simple to avoid that. And then I would also recommend hanging curtains. I'd hang them probably as high as you can go to give you an illusion of height, and then make sure that you're hanging them outside your actual window. So a lot of times people will hang their curtains in line with the window frame, and in reality you should actually be having your curtain panel hang right outside the window so it looks larger and lets more light into the room. So our last question is from Instagram user Greta Loves Butter. She asked, wanting to know a cheap, not tacky, quick and easy idea for wall hangings. Something to jazz up plain walls without too much expense. We are renting and we're moving within a year, so we don't want to overcapitalize. Yeah, I mean, if you're renting, I understand you don't want to invest a lot into it, but unfortunately large artwork is going to be pretty expensive, so you're definitely going to need to find some other creative ways. We actually found a tapestry on Urban Outfitters. I know, super old school, but there's actually a lot of really neat trendy patterns and colors, and they're super affordable, so you can always check that out.
Yeah, and we also found another great DIY craft idea. We're going to link to it below, where she made a pull down vintage map. It was really easy. She just found a poster of a map and then she glued it in between a couple dowels and just hung it on a string. It doesn't necessarily have to be a map either. Posters are just a great inexpensive way to get a really large piece of art. And gallery walls always pack a big punch. Everyone tends to be afraid of them, putting holes in their walls. But there's a really easy way to go around this. IKEA has great picture ledges. If you just put those on the wall, you can display a whole variety of frames. You can play around with them right in the picture ledge, so you don't even have to worry about, you know, putting the nails in or filling them in when you leave. So we're gonna have to mention wallpaper again. There's so many peel and stick options out there now, and it's basically like a giant piece of art. So if you do an accent wall in wallpaper, it can be really fun, make a statement, and if you get sick of it, it's really easy to take down and change out. Our go-to for this is Spoonflower. It's an online shop. It's very similar to Etsy, where they have lots of artists within that shop selling their own things.
Yeah, and if you're still not sold on the wallpaper idea, then there's always a couple more options. So you could always just use a collection that you might already have, so you don't have to go out and spend more money on art. So you could display maybe vintage baskets that you have, or hats, or clocks, or anything like that that could be hung on the wall. Will give you a really neat look. And then washi tape is something else I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but it's just that, it is tape. But it comes in lots of different colors and designs, and if you're really artsy, that's great, because you can create a lot of really cool designs and patterns on the wall. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please comment below. We'd love to hear.
We'd love to do another Q&A, design questions, personal questions, whatever you have, throw them at us. If you liked our video, please hit subscribe. You can also follow us on our social media channels. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. You can also find us on our website at NicoleJocelyn.com. Until next time, cheers! And then instead of having like a bunch, okay, no.
Get out. I'm gonna picture my nose for the last 3 slides. Really awesome.
You can also follow us on our social.
We usually get them from there. Shit, I talk too much. Can we redo?
Really. What was that?
Really like overstock.
I forget. Pop.
Hey, Brittany.
Welcome to our YouTube for me. Mix and match different prints. There's so many trips and.
Shit, I was doing good, Karen. Something called the tape.
It went away.
Something
No.
called tape. Okay, and shit. Wanting to know. Sorry, my dog is literally on top of me. Just be mindful.
Shit.
From the
Accents. Inspiration. It doesn't have to be anything
specific.
Damn it, that was going so well.
Cheers.